You paid whatever, $6 or $7, whatever it was. If you bought it on the aftermarket after that, is that Ty's, the toy company Ty's fault? No, it's yours. So you have to watch out for this kind of stuff. I mean, is a product, are you buying it because you think it's an investment? Well, if you bought a pet rock because you thought it was going to be an investment, well, you made a foolish error. If you bought a Beanie Baby thinking it was going to be an investment, well, many people made the error of holding on to them when the market fell flat. Just fell out. Boom, gone. One day somebody had a Beanie Baby worth $300, and the next day they had a Beanie Baby worth $6. Literally. So, but it plays into our greed. Unnatural greed. There's natural greed and unnatural greed. To get a 5,000% return is unnatural greed. To get a 10% annual return is natural greed. Natural greed is okay. Unnatural greed gets us into trouble. Even when you look at something and think, that's okay. Politics, that's okay. Unnatural greed in politics, hey, look, tax that person and then give it to me. Why? Get a job. Create a business. Hire people. Come up with a product or service that, thousands or millions of people will willingly give you their money for. Don't try to cheat them. Just be honest about it. Why do you have to try to have this unnatural greed and take from somebody who's producing simply because you're not? You can always find all kinds of things, to do, especially with the internet today. Now, let me give you an example. Here's one. Fox News is reporting this, and this is how this whole thing got started tonight for me. Was this one story? Yeah. No. I watched the American Greed thing, but I'm just equating that to this particular story. And this is the type of thing that you have to understand happens in politics all the time. Is that our government decides that they're going to take ownership of something that they didn't create, that they didn't touch, but they're deciding that they're going to, like the internet, for example, the government didn't create it. They didn't build it. They didn't help, bring it to life and all that kind of stuff. But now they're going to regulate it as if they owned it from day one. Well, here's this woman, I guess a Spanish woman. Next month, a Spanish court. This is from FoxNews.com. A Spanish woman, a Spanish court will hear arguments in a most unusual case. A woman who claims to own the sun. Yes, that bright yellow-orange orb in the sky that gives us all life. She claims to own the sun, and she is suing eBay for blocking her extraterrestrial real estate sales. Now, this woman is fairly clever. And it's even better than what is it? Every year I hear the commercials for naming a star. Was it like $59 or something? You can name a star after some, and as if they can sell the name rights to the stars, but evidently they do. And it's registered in the star registry, all that kind of stuff. I've never heard of a star called, Bruce Jenner, for instance. I don't know. Maybe there is. I don't know where it is. But this is what they claim. So for I think the cost is around $59.95, $60 or something. But this lady has done it a little bit better. Now, I got to tell you, I haven't heard this before, this story. So I didn't know somebody was out. Well, there was somebody out there who was trying to sell parcels on the moon. Remember that story? But this woman, if you think it sounds a little nuts, but in a Madrid, Spain court, has ruled that 54-year-old Maria Angelis Duran has the right to have her case heard. Now, the court won't rule on the larger case of whether Duran's claim of ownership is legit, but on the narrower one, whether she violated eBay's seller agreement. Now, she had been selling parcels of about 11 square feet, or about a square meter, for $1 a piece, and had racked up 600 orders before eBay shut her down. Now, 600 people decided to give this woman $1 for a square meter, basically, ownership of the sun. Now, you're never going to be able to get there. I don't even know how she's, quantifying it and, giving coordinates of where it is, but evidently she must be doing so. You're never going to be able to see it. You're not going to be able to, because what are you going to do? Look at the sun? You can't do that. You'll go blind. You'll burn your corneas. So you're never really going to know where it is. And she's racked up 600 of these orders, so she's made about $600. Now, Duran says she was never able to collect her money and is suing for about $11,000 in damages. She says, "I'm not a stupid person and I know the law." And Duran has said this is what she said of her solar real estate gambit. Now, she's basing her claim on a loophole in the UN's Outer Space Treaty that says no nation can take ownership to a heavenly body, but makes no mention of individuals. Now, this whole UN crap, come on, as if the UN is the law of the planet. Those of you who want, who don't want one world government, well, guess what? It's already here. Sorry to inform you, but evidently it's here. And all they need is a military and policing body to enforce their rules and their laws. And they're not too far from actually getting that, by the way. Just saying. So she's basing her claim on that loophole. Now, Duran is an eclectic character, as you might imagine. She studied nursing and law and dreamt up her own religion, penned a kinky romance novel. She dreamt up her own religion. Sounds kind of like Dianetics and L. Ron Hubbard and Church of Scientology. Now, the story notes that Duran is framing her sun fight as a statement against the corporate world and promises that any profits will go to charity. Now, for those of you who want to still buy a parcel of the sun, you can do so on her website, I guess. Are you going to be able to resell the I don't know. If you're into I'm not. Well, it is kind of a scam, but you know what you're getting up front, and she's not promising that it's an investment. But hey, what if you bought 5 of them for $5? Do you think you could start and say, well, my parcels are in the better side of the moon, or better corner of the sun, worth more. I don't know. So you can sell them for $3 and make $2. I don't know. I'm just, but this is the type of thing that even our politicians will tell us. They'll play and prey upon our unnatural greed. And if people can get away, I mean, she's got 600 sales at least. If people can be taken on buying a piece of the sun to somebody who clearly cannot possibly own it, then there you go. We can be scammed by our politicians, and they do it daily. They tell us about all these wonderful programs that the government's going to give us, and you got Sanders out there trying to foist another scam on the American people. We'll get into that, but you got to wonder, where is all this scamming coming from, and why? Again, because it's simply, and it's not just on things that supposedly will increase in value for you. It's not just investments. It's not just novelty items. It's about cultural things too. We're trying to be scammed on cultural things, like gay stuff, gay marriage. There are people out there who refuse to call Bruce Caitlyn Jenner. I refuse to call him Caitlyn. I say Bruce Caitlyn. In most of the time, and the other times that I don't say Bruce Caitlyn, I just say Bruce. I won't call her she. Or I think it just did her. He, him. It gets kind of confusing. I won't call him her because he's still a him. Plain and simple. And I know there are people out there, well, geez, Rod, you're transphobic. No, I'm not. I love this. If you don't agree with somebody else's premise, then you're somehow phobic of it. Do you know what phobic means? It means fear. I have no fear of transgendered people. I mean, what? Why is it homophobic and transphobic and biophobic, whatever? But it's not. We don't seem to have phobias attached to people who don't like black people or people who don't like white people or people who don't like Asians. We don't call them phobic. We just call them bigots sometimes. And I don't know. Am I bigoted against transgendered people? I don't think so. I just don't believe that scientifically and biologically speaking, they haven't changed sexes. It's just a fact. There's no phobia or fear involved in that. It's just a scientific, logical fact. But along with that, there are some other minority groups who don't get along very well with the alternative lifestyle. For instance, Native American tribes, the ones at the left are so quick to say that right-wingers came over here and stole all their land and we should give it back. Well, if we gave it all back, just so you know, they wouldn't have a country full of transgendered people. Because Native American tribes, including the two largest, prohibit same-sex marriage. By the way, yes, this is CNSnews.com. Tribal laws of the two largest Native American tribes in the United States prohibit gay marriage, as do the laws of 9 other smaller tribes. The Navajo and Cherokee, which I am part Cherokee, and I can prove it, Mrs. Warren, collectively have about 600,000 members, and they prohibit same-sex marriage, and they don't go for the notion of transgenderization. They don't go for this LGBTQISWXYZ thing. They don't. So I wonder what the left is going to have to say about that. Interesting. So we've got this scam from the left that tries to tell us that an alternative lifestyle is so fine. It is harmless, but at the same time, we're being inundated with others beyond these norms. And you got to understand that most people in the LGBT, what's I? That's right, intersex. I'm not even going there. Most people within the LGBT community, oh, no, they don't like some of the alternative lifestyles. The ones like NAMBLA, the man-boy love association thing. They don't get into, the bestiality part. You can marry your horse. No, that disgusts them too. But hey, don't they have rights? So are the gays now being alternate lifestyle phobic? Lifestyle-ophobic. Kind of like that one.